Om Shanti, welcome to Avyakti Parivar, January 24th, Raazyukt, Transformation. Now we'll be listening from Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. One of the simple word we can use for transformation is change. This is the eternal law of the nature and the time, that it must change. If you look at the seasons, they change. If you look at the time, if you look at the clock, it moves in one direction, but its time is changing. It never happens that this moment and the next or one which passed will be same. Every moment is different. So same we look at confluence age is the time to change. Now some are changing in the sense with the flow of the time, so they're becoming more tamopradhan, more greed, more attachment, more body consciousness, because they're moving in that direction. But because we have knowledge, so we are changing from darkness to light. We are changing from tamo pradhan to sato pradhan. So every moment, even if we look at the time, internally the thought will be that I should change next moment, I should be different. Because if even when you have to think or say, sometimes you say same way, same thing, nobody will pay attention, right? So every time you get better, improve your awareness, your words, your energy, and you say it in a very, very, with lot of good wishes, it will be understood better, it will be accepted better. I think we all know in our lives, it's very, very important change in the form of progress. Because I must be different next moment. I always have experimented in my life that if I have to say something which I know should change, I always try to find the words which are inspiring, which I never said, the way I never said. So when I say it, there is more attention, there is acceptance, and also inspires, and it helps. But if I look at a situation is same, but I am also same, right? In the sense, if there is a person who does something, shouldn't do it, and I go, and every time I say something, with that person say, I shouldn't say that way. So who has to change? I have to change, right? Every time with new awareness, with love, with good wishes, and also new good vocabulary. Before, like, I will go and say, well, this shouldn't have been like this shouldn't, and now I say, but there is a better way to do. Maybe there is another way to do. Let's try. So this should become our nature. I won't call it effort, but also it's very joyful, because you're not saying, thinking same, saying same, looking at same way. So when there is a saying that self transformation bring world transformation, I really believe in that, because I find that if I am changing, and also as I am remembering Baba, so I definitely must be becoming Sato Pradhan, isn't it? More Sato, more Sato. My alloy is being removed, so it's becoming pure gold. So some of the efforts which I am making of listening to Baba's knowledge or remembering Baba, increasing my percentage in each virtue. So internally with efforts, I am changing, but also then in my expression, let's say I remember that I tried this, someone has made some mistake. One person did something which was very drastic, and I know that person wouldn't have done it, but must be. So when that person called me and I said, okay, it's gone now, no? It's okay. Let it go and move forward. So when other one came to know, Sister Mohini didn't say anything. She said, move forward. What about what you did? Well, somebody has already done it. So what I have to do? And I have experienced, like, once I was young instrument. So one mother, she was wife of the police commissioner of that area. She used to come to me. And one time she said, Sister Mohini, today I did something. Because her husband, he was not coming, but she has a worshipping room before, and she also start meditating there. So before going for job, he will come and kind of salute Baba and say goodbye before he goes to job. So I said, okay. Whenever somebody says I did something, I said, let's go in Baba's room and see what Baba has to say. I don't say anything. So we both went and sat in Baba's room. So Baba was smiling. So after 10 minutes, she said, what did Baba say? I said, he was smiling. Oh, I made mistake. Still he was smiling. I was smiling so that you let go and move forward. Because making someone feel more guilty is not going to help, right? But if realization comes, that's only through love. So this way, if I know what I have to share with others, is love, of course, understanding. I know that once, I think it was Dr. Girish Patel, I think he gives talks. He came to Harmony House. He gave a very nice, simple example, stayed with me. He had a pen in hand. He called someone and gave pen and it fell. So he said, okay. Then next time he gave pen properly. So that person was able to hold. He said, if you say something not properly, it will fall. It won't go in person's head or heart. But if you give properly, that person will hold it. It's a very simple thing that if I'm saying something in a very, very proper way to make someone understand, it will be understood. But I am forceful in making someone understand. You must understand. It doesn't go in, it falls. whether it's my words, whether it's my action, my interaction with someone. So internally you watch that how natural efforts, even with you making, your degrees are ascending, right? You are becoming more pure, you are become sweeter, you are more silence, or as I said, alloy is removed, sanskars are melting. So that change is happening, right? But what is more important? Transformation, trans one is, but form. So if I keep practicing, one is five forms. Now, what forms I need to adopt at this time? So Baba says at this time, child, or I feel the need, be in your eternal form in a second. So I should be able to do it. Go beyond sound, be bodiless. Yes, I should be able to do it. Be in your original form. So form, I am able to create form. Transform means what I am at this moment, I am able to form another, adopt another form. Because change is change. One change is progress, improvement. Other changes able to adopt the form I want. I change my form within 1 second. And I know that, in Madhuban there was a time, Om Shanti Bhavan, they have conferences, then a lot of cultural program. So 9:30, cultural program finish, change the light, red, let's remember Baba. So there were some guests and they were looking all around. They are so silent and now they, few minutes before they were singing and dancing. So he said, what happened? I said, now they are meditating. Oh, now they're meditating. So we know when it's red light, we have to be in silence. We have to meditate. So this ability, this capacity, or we should be expert, efficiency into adopting to the form whichever is needed is called transformation. I don't think there is any person who is not changing. Even if some might be very, very gradual, it's not visible, but no one can be stuck, right? Everyone is changing with efforts, with the time. There is a saying, time changes everyone, or time will come, one will change. So there is connection between time and my change. So always remind yourself we are moving towards new golden age. So I have to adopt my deity form. Whatever service is needed is unlimited. So I need to be angel now. How will I do unlimited service without that form of angel? I have to study and teach, so I have to be a Brahmin. Brahmins always work with scriptures, right? Brahma is shown scriptures in the hand. So transformation is a very, very natural. But there are two. One is I change and improve. Other is practice of adopting to whichever form is needed. Enough practice. Practice few times a day to be in your eternal form. Really, you will see that after practicing, it takes a moment. Baba talks a lot about seed stage or bodiless stage or go beyond sound. Mm. So that's second thing. And third is, let's say we find that the atmosphere in the room is getting tense because of any reason. With your very peaceful vibrations, mm, very light vibrations, and same with drishti or words if you have to speak, change that. Not get influenced. It was really getting tense, so I get tense too. And then in that tension, mm, things doesn't work well, right? But as soon as I find there is sadness, somebody shared something and there is sadness in the room, how can I change now that atmosphere? Mm. And that is where Brahma Baba used lot of power of silence. Power of silence is power of peace, power of love, stability. Baba's tower we have. So within 1 second, create that, like powerful stage of silence. And then you see how sadness changes into happiness. Peacelessness changes into peaceful atmosphere. That we have to keep doing. Anytime we notice anywhere, then I just get into that stage and with my cheerful face, just keep giving vibrations, good wishes of love, of peace, or happiness. And within few moments, you will find that whole atmosphere changes. So transforming what is happening outside or even with the souls, someone comes as confusion, is disturbed. So in few seconds sitting together, that soul will feel that I am peaceful. I don't have to be confused. I don't have to be like this. Sometimes it works through our thoughts. Otherwise, even if we say a few words of love, with enthusiasm, with peace, a change can happen in that person. So self transformation and then helping in transformation by not by force, right? Cannot change anyone by force, but with love, with good wishes, with vibration, good atmosphere. Once there is lovely, peaceful atmosphere, everyone grows with that, those feelings and nature. So that is why I remember Dadi Janki Dadi Prakash Pani used to say, that was her slogan. Speak softly, less and sweet. So one is thoughts, other is our words. So transformation is many different things, but three aspects I could think of. One is realizing that I am changing and see that change also in others, connected with the time and my efforts, and practice of adopting to different forms, transform. And third is working with other in interaction with other souls and also atmosphere. And finally, of course, it's with the world. We did 4 days Akhand Bhatti because we know things could have happened which could have been very violent. And everything went very peaceful, right? So using power of yoga for self-transformation and also world transformation. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Dear Mohini Didi. Greetings, everyone.
Om Shanti.
Thank you. You are making transformation seem so easy and natural. And I know in the Logic world, when they tell someone else after seeing them after a long time, oh, you haven't changed. It's a very good compliment. And for us, this is the worst thing someone can tell us after 10 years. Oh, Eric, you haven't changed. Really? That will not be a compliment. So we like to change in many ways.
No, a lot of people tell me I haven't changed. Someone recently. So I think that for them, they look at it in a different way, no?
Right.
That you
Yes.
don't look much different. So it depends on how. And Dadi Janki always say, to tell someone you look same, you haven't changed like a curse, Give blessing that you have changed. Depends.
Tell us a little bit about what changes did you see practically in Brahma Baba's life, like that you really witness. We felt he was perfect, when he started, and he was perfect at the end. But what did you witness in terms of changes? Where any specific moment where you remember you felt, oh, he's really changing?
One is, of course, which is very general, is that we all have from very beginning certain good qualities, right? Certain virtues, powers, and the percentage keep increasing. And then it becomes more obvious. Like with Brahma Baba, what I would notice that, his quietness and silence was very visible, in the sense of the power in that. It's not that necessarily he was more quiet or silent, but whole power, the vibrations of quietness. And I have to think about this because, as I said, because from very beginning, like I always felt him as lighthouse, might house, as karma yogi. Yeah, maybe I have to think a little bit about it. Yeah, as you're saying that.
What about your change? Because it's a side question. I'll come back to transformation or change in the process, but I was curious. It's a question I had in mind for another evening, but when you go to, you said transformation, so you must be expert since you go in trance. So you already have that part. And in trance, you always say, I saw Brahma Baba, he gave beautiful drishti, he was loving. But I'm sure you must have looked at yourself in a subtle region, say, what happened to me? How are you in a subtle region? Are you same Sister Mohini, or is there Avyakt Sister Mohini a little bit different? Is there a mirror in the subtle region? You can look at yourself in a mirror and say, oh, this is very nice.
Subtle region has angelic form, right? It's the form of light. So it's same, no? So form of light is form of light. But I think that when we take drishti from Baba, I could feel the difference, in the sense of when I took drishti in the beginning, when I went in certain regions, and now, because now it's like there is so much closeness, in the sense of, like I feel so close to Baba. That definitely difference I see. But as far as image is there, It's the, when if I see you in subtle region, I will see you as body of light. So if I see body of light, there won't be any difference. But definitely my understanding of Baba's drishti, what he's saying to me, and his signals are very, very clear than
The question
before.
is, because we were listening to Dadi Gulzar's experiences, and she was explaining to Brahma Baba in the beginning
Yeah.
that she saw perfect Brahma, and the effort maker is on the ground, on earth.
Mhm.
Do you find that your state of being in a subtle region comes a little bit closer to what will be your angelic stage or your avyak stage, that will be more perfect than what you are in the physical world? And does it inspire you sometimes to unite those two forms so they are the same?
But how will I see my own form different? Um, because I am seeing Brahma Baba's form in the beginning, like in difference of light, but how I will see my own form. But definitely for each one of us, there is a perfect image in certain regions, everyone. So that means I have to especially go and see what is the Vyakt form of Eric there and here, right? But it's not I will see generally, because generally you will be in the form of light. But if I ask Baba that today I have come and every Baba's child want to know the difference, how much there is difference, so he might show me all of you at present and your stage of perfection. So that will be homework for me. And if he is willing to show me, then next time I can tell you.
Okay. Ask him if there's a mirror or something.
No,
But
next I can carry mirror next time, but I don't know. I will be allowed to do that.
okay. So you need a mirror and a cell phone to take a video as well.
Yeah, then I will be able to take your photo too. But that is the whole thing. Now we can carry anything. In the beginning we used to see like big size mangoes, and so the temptation is take this. No, I can take one, but you can't bring it now. So we
I'm
used to.
asking because in Murli's in the past, Baba told us you should feel that you have on one side your angelic form invoking you and your deity form invoking you. And we know for Brahma, he was feeling, I'm going from Brahma to Vishnu and Vishnu to Brahma. So he was having that aim of transformation. He was looking at a final form, or what Baba calls aim and objective. That's why I was curious if I'm given an experience tomorrow of my angelic form, it will be easier for me to say, oh, I want to be like that angel all the time.
So
But
one
you're
time
saying it's mostly form.
one Thursday we will do special meditation, and we see that difference, each one of us.
Okay.
And this has to be like, of course, inner lightness, purity. One thing I notice is that if I hear anything which is not right or not really, I forget it these days, like before it used to stay in me. And a lot of things I hear what after half an hour, I say what? So I thought that's very good, because that means the purity or level of increase, that I'm not able to remember anything, you know. So we start noticing subtle changes in us, and which are very encouraging, that before I had to make effort. Now, yeah, we have to do so many things, we do it, but then it just passes, it doesn't stay with you. And definitely there will be more lightness. Now, when it comes to angelic form, that definitely each one of us, we have to feel it. And maybe next time when I offer Bhog, each one of you tell Baba, please show us our next perfect form. It's possible. Baba can show each one of you. Or if he shows me, I can tell.
All right. I'm taking notes and I will be checking for invitation. No, I'm asking because, when we practice the 5 forms, and you mentioned also one evening that not only we need to reach a stage, but we need to serve from that stage. So for me, when I practice angelic state or when I try the 5 forms, I'm questioning myself, am I going deep enough in the experience of the form so that I'm not just visualizing a body of light, but I'm also creating the awareness that should be created so that I become that when I'm coming back on earth and enjoying my work or something.
Yeah, one is like for me, at least 3 stages. Eternal, I'm really, feel it eternally. Just soul, loveful, peaceful, pure, 3 qualities I use. And I just feel that eternity and seed form. Because with eternal, we also have to remember we're imperishable. That means we are also immortal, not only eternal. Of course, eternity doesn't have any end and beginning, but still that. And then also this original form. An original form is actually deity form. That also you start experiencing. So it's not, as I am saying, as just making a form, but you internally feel. And you could serve from that, like when devotees, there are cooperative souls. People have a lot of bhavana, but they don't have knowledge. So anytime you have that stage, recently we had a call of time, and there were about 56 or 60 people. No, I got about 15-20 minutes to say something. And I thought I'm going to say something very simple or what I am practicing. And the feeling, the soul, they responded. They respond to that, in a different way. Then intellectually, I collect few points and say, oh, they are very good points. Let me share. Yes, intellect. So Baba said it will touch their intellects, but not the soul. So people they remember, oh, so peaceful vibration. It was so beautiful. So I think whatever stage we have, we serve from that stage. The response will be accordingly. Same as angelic stage. Like as I had mentioned before that you cannot fly, but your thought flies. So there is total love, purity, and that thought has to go towards his soul. That soul will feel it. Will help that soul feel the vibrations. Oh, I feel more safer now. Not knowing that vibrations are coming from angel. So they start receiving. If there is state, they will receive it. And you will see them also thankful or changing transformation could happen. Because we are talking these days a lot about how to further serve, you know, all those we had been serving. So we know that we felt that we have to work on ourselves, and as much will be my stage, and that much the response will be there. So we can serve through angelic state, take a thought, whether love of angel, lightness of angel, joy of angel, and then you try it, experiment by sending to the souls. I think it works definitely.
But it's such an important aspect of our journey or Brahmin life, this transformation. I know if we are not transforming or changing enough, we're a little bit unsatisfied. And Baba said not only you have to transform, but you should be transformed before time, and you should be over a long period of time. So I'm wondering about the motivation for changing. If you ask me to change, I will have extra motivation to change. But if I have to just, motivate for what is my motivation? Baba says, have an aim and objective. Do you find for yourself that, you had more aim and objective before in the beginning, and now you're less having that kind of motivation, or?
I have more now because two things. One is aim, that in short time I have to accomplish and reach my aim. But also transformation word can be seen as becoming, so this is my aim and this is what I have to become. So for becoming that, there is natural way to transform also. As I said, in form of change, in form of progress, in form of improvement or adopting to new forms. So now in the beginning I had aim, even now I have aim that I want to be complete and serve from that stage also. Whenever I have to serve, I want to serve from a particular stage. So there is unlimited service. That is why we have to keep adopting to our forms. You know, yeah, motivation is always there because there is joy. When you are improving, changing, you are very happy internally, very joyful or delightful, whatever we call it. And
What
that
do you
is
think
very
is what do you think is a good motivation? Is becoming like Baba really the best motivation, or is not to be bad anymore is a good motivation, or is to be following someone else, or what would be good motivation?
to reach to my complete and perfect stage. I have to reach to my complete and perfect stage. And of course, I have to serve from my complete and perfect stage. So I am enough motivated by thinking of once I am
Okay.
on my journey, I must complete it. I can't be rest on the way and stop journey so I have to be victorious, I have to be successful, I have to be angel. I have to be, of course, then like Baba. So perfect stage can definitely motivate.
One tiny last question. I know you said we cannot force others to change, but this is the big drama for Brahmins. Looking at others and wondering, are they going to change at some point, or could they change? Why are they not changing faster? So what's your advice if someone feels others are not changing fast enough and they should really
Fast enough, I don't know, but everyone is changing definitely, maybe with their own speed. I think the way we look at souls, and I find everyone is making efforts, and their part and their efforts, everyone is different. But we cannot say they're not changing, but sometimes there is lack of attention on self efforts, and it is more into service and karma yoga, but if we pay attention to the self, and I will be able to see change in everyone. That's what I realize, that what I appreciate now, that every Baba's child in their own way making efforts. And I shouldn't really think of that they're not changing, they're not studying. Well, they're studying their own way. I was talking to one soul, and she said, I don't even want to think about steps of Brahma Baba because overwhelming. I just want to even see I can make my own efforts in my own way. So, okay, good luck. That's what that soul wants. What can you do? If you start worrying about that or saying, no, I said, look, this came from Madhuban, we also doing it. But it didn't help. So it's okay. But it's not that that soul is not making efforts.
I
So
will
we
invite that soul to come to Canada when there's a lot of snow,
have.
and she will find that if there are steps in front of you, it's the best way to move in the snow. Go in the steps that are already there.
Anyway, what I'm saying these days, we should not, we keep moving forward, keep saying it, inspiring it, but don't wait and look around who is making my home. That time is gone now. At least that's what I feel for myself. So I just smile and give good wishes, and I said, "Oh well, my good wishes will always be with you," and still make that feel comfortable and courageous enough to continue. Otherwise, souls can get disheartened. They might lose interest. They might feel pressure. You don't know. All these things are not good. So very lovingly signal, let's go. This is the right direction. But some want to explore their own direction. So that's fine too. At least they are moving, right? Mm.
Thank you again, Mohini Didi. And now you give us a beautiful aim to wait maybe for next Thursday for a photo opportunity and a photo session in the subtle region. So we'll all be excited about seeing our angelic form in a subtle region. Thank you again, Mohini Didi, and
Okay.
welcome, Ben.
You. And as I listen to the conversation, I'm thinking, how is this all connected to what I'm about to say? Because it seems like there is a space between what I'm going to be saying in terms of
Oops.
introducing the homework and the conversation that has happened. So I'll try my best to connect it. Um, the root sanskara, if we could have the slide with all the, yeah, great. So today, tomorrow will be January 24, and we'll be looking at transformation as a root sanskara. And the root sanskara of transformation is set within this phrase that Baba uses in the Murli, which is Brahma, so Vishnu. And when I looked at that, I always wanted to know why is Baba telling us Brahma so Vishnu? Why not Brahma so angel, or Brahma so worthy of worship, or Brahma so before he became a Brahmin? So it's intriguing to know that to transform, he is transforming from Brahma to Vishnu. And Baba continues to explain to us in the Murli that the connection between Brahma and Vishnu is the lotus arising from the umbilical cord. Now we know umbilical cord is a connection of two lives. It's of a life-giving kind of cord, like a mother's umbilical cord to her child. And so this umbilical cord, what was fascinating to know for me, which I didn't really realize, it was Brahma's birth was from the lotus in the navel of Vishnu. I always thought it was the opposite way around, that Vishnu actually came about from Brahma's evolving into Vishnu, but it was Brahma's birth that was from the lotus in the navel of Vishnu. So that made me think that therefore Brahma had these fundamental qualities that Sister Mohini talked about, that each one has some fundamental, Brahma Baba had some fundamental qualities which she saw instantly, and then it came through his presence as he was going through his transformation. So what were those qualities that Brahma had, that his birth was taken from the lotus? He emerged from the lotus of the navel of Vishnu. That means his perfection came from this connection he had to his aim and objective of being Vishnu. And also the umbilical cord was his connection to Shiv Baba. He couldn't have done that without that umbilical cord taking the sustenance directly from God as he evolved from Brahma into Vishnu through this lotus-like life that he was required to live. And so this transformation would then, Baba always says, transformation occurs within the Trinity of Trimurti Brahma. Even though the Trimurti is supposed to be Trimurti Shiva, people still remember it as Trimurti Brahma. And so that Trimurti would be, how did the creation, this process of Brahma so Vishnu, how did the creation happen? What was sustained and what was destroyed? And so he emerged in this beautiful lotus. And so, taking from what Sister Mohini has said, is that when the question was asked to her, what motivates her the most? She says to reach her complete and perfect stage. So you would see the complete and perfect stage as Vishnu. And then she was saying, what motivates her also is to complete that journey, not to be left halfway in the journey. And so she has to complete that journey. So it is a crossover from Brahma to Vishnu. And so it's a journey from being a Brahmin to being a deity. And so the three qualities, she says, that would be important for that to complete that journey, that would be like pulling her toward itself, would be to be victorious, to be successful, and to be divine. So I would say if we connect successful to Brahma, being the one that is creating, successful means when I have knowledge and understanding of that knowledge, I'm successful when I apply the knowledge, when I follow the Srimad. The sustainer would be my divine form. That aim of Vishnu is what is motivating me, because I can get bored on the journey if I don't have along the journey remembering my divine stage. So having that that divinity as the sustainer. And then, of course, ultimately, why I want to transform, transform. I want to change the form from being physical to being eternal, to being original, to being angelic, to being divine. I'm moving over to a different form of consciousness, of course, and that is where I leave behind the skin of the snake, as it were, and I become victorious. So all of these three would be required for this journey from Brahma to Vishnu, being that lotus, living that lotus life, because the lotus is arising from the umbilical cord, and the umbilical cord is Baba's remembrance, and that umbilical cord cannot be broken because the life will be removed. I wouldn't get the nutrients that I need to remain a lotus on this journey. And so, understanding it at this level, then let's move over to the quote. Now, the quote is also something that when I read it, I had to read it a few times because it is, of course, Baba trying to understand what was going on. And so he says that when you believe that you have taken physical form from your incorporeal form, then you will know what is true. Now, this is such a profound quote. When you believe that you have taken your physical form from your incorporeal form, then you will know what is true. So, my physical form, I always think that I take it from my parents. So, my body actually is from the parents who gave me birth. But that's just half the truth. But my physical form was taken from what is in the soul as my sanskaras. And those sanskaras brought me into my present physical form. They determine the physical form that I would be in. And so to me, it was a very profound thing. When I understand that, then I will know what is true. So it's the same that could be connected to Brahma, so Vishnu. The physical form and the incorporeal form. So both are physical forms. Brahma is a physical form, Vishnu is a physical form. But what's the truth in this journey from Brahma to Vishnu? Where would the incorporeal fit in both these forms? So it's a very beautiful process of transformation tomorrow that is really steeped in some very beautiful concepts that Baba is sharing with us. So when you contemplate, when you reflect, when you journal tomorrow, this is a quote that you would need to pause over and over again and bring it into the journey of moving from a Brahmin to a deity and being successful, being victorious, and being divine on your journey. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, welcome to Awake the Journey, meeting through the eyes, the language of an angels. Om Shanti. So today is our day for sharing the drishti with the whole world and with the whole family.
I tried to explain transformation in a simple way because I knew that Gayatri Van is going to give us based on Baba's diary, and of course we will combine both practice, writing, everything. Okay, Om Shanti and good night everyone. Om Shanti.